Well, George Caras is with Commander's Weather and has become the kind of the premier weather forecaster, and sailboat racers all over the world trust his forecasts. George, how did you get into this business? I'm going to presume this is what you started off doing in your career.
Well, it isn't in a way, although I've always been in weather. My partner and I actually worked at another weather company prior to starting Commander's Weather. We didn't like the direction that company was going and basically went on our own. And
how many years ago has that been now?
Oh gosh, I think it's about 15 years or so.
Okay.
And we started Commander's Weather, and my partner actually did a lot of marine work, so we figured that would be a good place to start and expand from there, and we actually stayed pretty much in the marine business ever since.
Now, obviously, it fits perfectly with sailboat racing. I mean, in the field of sailboat racing, especially at this high Grand Prix level, the sailors want to know the weather conditions. They're always trying to check and get the latest knowledge. Kind of tell me how it evolved that you started doing regattas and being involved with this type of thing.
Well, I guess we had done some regattas because being in weather, you know wind direction and cloud cover, and we see satellite data and all kinds of stuff. And then word got out, essentially through word of mouth, that we were producing accurate weather forecasts, to be honest, and it expanded from there.
Now, I mean, did you have much background in sailing? And as you've been involved with sailboat racing and doing weather forecasts for regattas, have you learned more about sailing and in ways that your forecast can help sailors? I mean, have you been able to tailor your knowledge, so to speak?
Yeah, to be honest with you, yeah. I had never been out really in a boat prior to starting Commander's Weather. And when we started it, we did get a feel, and of course we got a lot of feedback from sailors out there on winds and whatever. Got invited on some of the boats and got a little bit of feel for what they go through. And I think that helps not only them by getting the forecast, but helps us in knowing what they need and how important it is.
Right. Well, like I'm thinking that something that usually you predict wind velocity and direction, but these sailors like to know, is it going to shift? That might be one of the kind of the things that you've learned about helping them with.
Yeah, you know, in the quote business of weather, a lot of times you'll say northwest winds shifting to southwest during the day. Well, for a sailor, it's not. That could be when in the day, and they need a precise time or as precise as possible.
Right.
So it evolved into a very fine-tuned weather forecasting. So it's what I call intensive forecasting, where you really narrow it down to what is the limit of meteorology. So we can, I think, at times do it within an hour. Maybe not days in advance, but during the course of the day, we can refine it to pretty accurate times.
Now, what are some of the other regattas that you have worked with Commander Weather, in addition to Key West?
Well, for example, we do a lot of the Great Lakes regattas that go on through there, including the Mackinac Series. We do the Newport to Bermuda race, which is a distance type of race.
Yep.
Let alone do a lot of forecasts for Long Island Sound, or whether it's off Cape Cod or through Chesapeake Bay. And literally they're world round. We do the Sydney Hobart, we do races in the Med. So strictly, it is a worldwide operation that we do.
Well, I know that Premier Racing loves having you, and Peter Craig is always sings your praises. Have you had a good relationship with Premier Racing in Key West? And I think you probably enjoy coming down here.
I love coming down. We got a great relationship with Peter and Premier Racing, and they talk to us and use us for other regattas as well.